guys, it's Yellowkushh back on the beat, and today I'm going to be doing another story time because y'all asked. So I'm gonna be getting ready while I tell this story because I feel like I tell stories better when I'm doing something instead of opposed to just because I forget a lot of shit. So this story time is the story time of me popping off on my ex-best friend who stole my mans. So I'm just gonna get right into the story. I'm gonna tell a little backstory on the girl and my little relationship or whatever. And yeah, I'm gonna touch everything, spill all the tea, and yeah. So I'm gonna start by giving y'all a little backstory on my best friend. This has been my most OG best friend. Like, I started being friends with her in 6th grade and we were best friends all the way up until 9th grade. And like, I'm talking about like she would come over like every single weekend. Like, my mom loved her. Most of the time that we hung out, it would be here because like she wasn't allowed to have people over at her house. And now she's best friends with the same racist bitches. Okay, and this is my first time wearing makeup in like over a week, so I took a little break and my skin definitely cleared so much. But anyways, so now I'm gonna tell y'all a little bit about the guy. So this guy, this honestly, and I hate to admit it, was my first love. And like, we never dated as a thing. But y'all know that stage, like right before you date, you're talking, and we were in that stage for about a month, okay? And like during that month, like I swear, I thought this guy, like, oh my gosh, like y'all, he made me so fucking happy. And like, it's crazy to even say that now because of how much like things change, and I'll get into that. So basically I fell in love. I was head over heels with him. We hung out like a couple times, like, but oh my gosh, y'all, I was so in love with him. Like, it's crazy, and I will never let myself fall in love with somebody like this quick. But like, I don't know, I just felt so comfortable falling in love with him. Isn't that weird? Anyways, so y'all can't say nothing about this foundation not matching me because she looks pretty good to me. I want to turn on these lights just so I can see my face. There. So yeah, I fell in love with him, and like, it takes me a while to say I love you to someone. So like, the fact that I said I love you to him, it was something, okay? So anyways, this was in my 9th grade year. I forgot to mention that. We were a good thing for like a month or whatever, a little over a month maybe. So let's get into how we ended, and I have receipts on all this. So this guy is fucking terrible, okay? So we ended, and his excuse was because I hugged another guy. And why I hugged that other guy was because it was the last day of school and I wasn't gonna see him the whole summer, so I gave him a hug. And I told him that I hugged him. Like, I was like, I don't want to hug you and get makeup on your shirt like I did so and so. And he like backed up and he was like, you hugged so and so. And like, he didn't like so and so, but that was one of my best friends, so I didn't care. And he was like, you hugged so and so. I was like, yeah, like, it's the last day of school. And like, he was like, go, like, shooed me off. And I was like, he's just tripping. So I went to my bus. I was like, it's the last day of school, like, he's not actually, well, it was the day before the last day of school. I was like, he's not actually like telling me to go. So I got back off my bus, and this is where I embarrassed myself. I went back over to him and I was like, are you sure you want me to go? And he was like, yeah. So like, I was embarrassed. I was like, we're gonna name him Cunt, okay? So Cunt was like, no, like, go. And I was like, you're gonna regret this, because I was like I would get mad at him and not talk to him for a while. And that's what I do with a lot of people. If I'm mad at you, like, I won't talk to you for a while just so I can like get my anger out without giving it to you, you know what I mean, like going off on you or anything. So I went back to my bus and I was like so mad. I was like And I thought he was just like mad or something. Like, I thought he was gonna get over it of me hugging another guy because I didn't think it was that big of a deal. And like, he wasn't allowed to bring his phone to school, so like, I couldn't text him and be like, what the fuck or anything. So as soon as he got home before me, and I got a text from him and he was like, I don't think this is working out. I was like, what? So like, obviously I wasn't finna sit there and be like, no, please, please, please stay. I was like, what, me and you? I remember this conversation like so perfectly. but I don't have it in like my messages or anything because this was in 9th grade. But I was like, me and you. He was like, yeah, I don't want to hurt you, but we could still be friends or whatever. And I was like, well, you already hurt me enough. Like, I was like, well, you already hurt me enough. And he was like, I'm sorry, blah, blah, blah. So life goes on. I hung out with my friend, and like I was like, I'm gonna bring your jacket back tomorrow, blah blah blah. And he was like, I'll bring your bracelet back tomorrow, because that's the only things we had of each other, like, because it was a month. And so the last day of school comes, the next day, like I was so hurt, bro. Like I can insert pictures of me crying and crying and crying. So anyways, we go back to school, and I was like asking all my friends, I was like, how should I give this to him? Like, I'm scared to see him, yada yada yada. And like in my third block class, my ex-best friend was in there. We weren't friends at the time. I don't remember why we stopped being friends, but there was a reason. Like, let me tell y'all something. Like, she was always like a snake. Like, she never wanted to see her friends do good, like how I want to see my friends do good. Like, and that's just that. So basically I find out the next day from one of our mutual friends that we're gonna name her March, because y'all already know my thing with months and naming people months. It's easier. So March, I find our mutual friend tells me that March is talking to cunt. And I was like, already? Like, it's been a day. And so like I had a class with her, and I was like, I just made a post about her, and I'll insert that post now. But I was like so fucking angry at her. I was like, what the fuck? Like, I'm surprised. I wasn't bold enough back then, but I was surprised I didn't say anything to her. I was like, okay, I'm not giving this nigga back his jacket, the fuck. And so I like walked past him straight in the bus loading zone. Like, he was expecting me to bring him his jacket, and I just walked straight past him and went to my bus. And I was like, nope, he's not getting this bitch. And I was like, honestly, fuck the bracelet. Like, I don't care about it right now. And I got on my bus. And so same time as yesterday, as soon as he got home, he texted me, where's my jacket? And I was like, in my fire pit. And I remember this. He was like, you're kidding. Like, that jacket was expensive. You're gonna pay me for it. Like, really, where is it? And I was like, you're talking to March already? Like, I thought you liked me or whatever. And I had made that post, and I tagged him. I was like, at cunt, like, you're talking to March. Like, that's the biggest downgrade of the century or something. I don't remember exactly what I said, but y'all see. And like, he had commented on that, like, he little cunt, like, so that like made me so mad. Okay, so he was like, where's my jacket, blah blah blah. I was like, in my fire pit. And then I ended up telling him like it wasn't really in my fire pit, and that I lied. And I was just mad because like he was talking to another girl already. Like, obviously he never like loved me the way I loved him. So he was like, what's your address? Like, I'm gonna come get it from your house. And I was like, I sent him my address, and I was like, okay, like, and I was like, I don't want to end on bad terms with you, but like, if this is how it's gonna be, I guess this is how it's gonna be. And so he came to my house, and it was graduation night, I remember. He comes to my house, and like, he comes to my door and gets his jacket and goes. And that's all I thought, right? And so I get a text from him, if you want your bracelet, go check the woods. And I was like, we could be a little more mature than this. He was like, fetch, doggy. And that's where the line was drawn. Like, I had hate in my heart for this nigga. Like, I want to, not all the love vanished, because I'll get into that. Where the fuck is that brush? I was like, what the fuck? And so I posted on my spam, and everyone was like, he's a douche, blah blah blah. And like, nobody likes him. Still nobody likes him. Like, he's irrelevant as fuck. Anyways, so he does that, and like, he sent me a video of him throwing it. His mom recorded him throwing it, And like he sent me that video like a couple weeks later of him throwing it. I don't have that video no more, but I still haven't found that bracelet. And like that bracelet was important to me because it was just a low-kai bracelet, but it was from my dad, and at that time like me and my dad were as close as we are now. But shit, I have so much stuff from my dad now that that bracelet doesn't mean anything to me anymore. But so that happened, and I'm not gonna get into every single story over the summer of like my interactions with him, but all the interactions that we had were made by me because I was like, I could not fall out of love with this nigga, okay? So the day before school comes, keep in mind, March and Cunt are talking the entire summer. For the day that the schedules drop to show you what classes you're in, come and like, I was like finding out what classes I was in with everybody and whatever. And then I asked one of my friends that's mutual friends with Cunt, I was like, can you send me his schedule? Because I just want to make sure I don't have any classes with him. And he sent it to me, and guess what? I have second block with him, okay? So I was like, I was kind of excited but nervous. I was like, fuck, like now I'm not going to be able to get over him because I'm going to have to see him in a class every single day. And then I find out March has the same class as us. So it's us three in there. My luck, right? So the first day of school comes, I walk into class, and basically we're sitting in a diagonal. Like there are 3 rows. He sits like here, I sit like 1 seat behind him in the next row, and she sits 1 seat behind me in the next row, and there's nobody sitting in front of me. So my teacher moves me up, sitting right next to him. My luck, right? Like that's all I can really say. Like I don't understand how that would happen. Like, but keep in mind, like I still had so much feelings for this nigga in my heart. So basically the first day of school comes, and like I was like, oh hell no. Like I was like, I could start this with no drama, or we can have drama. And like I went in there with like the mindset no drama, but then I see March hugging Cunt, and I was like, the crazy bitch in me was like, and so I just was like so depressed over this nigga, bro. Like literally, I went home that day and I just like cried and cried. And so I talked to my life group leader about it because I didn't really, like, it's not that I didn't have anybody to talk to, but I needed like real like adult like good advice. And so I talked to her about it, and like March was in my life group, and so like my life group leader knew March and shit. Like I'm talking, me and this bitch were so used to be so close. So my life group leader talked to March, and like she was telling her like, that's wrong of you, blah blah blah. And like March was like, yeah, I see how that's wrong. And she was like saying she was gonna call me the day before school started. I mean, again, before the Monday. So we went to school on Friday. Our first day was on a Friday, just so we could like fill out our classes and have the weekend to like enjoy and then go back to school. And so she called me that Sunday, and like she basically apologized and said like she won't talk to Cunt if like it makes me that sad. And I was like, well, it does make me that sad because like you used to be my best friend, and like it shouldn't be like that, you know? Like that's just wrong. Like girl code, even if we're not friends, like we were still, our friendship was really on and off. So like that's how it was or whatever. Like I still thought it was wrong of her, since like we still had like a chance of being friends again or whatever, because we were so on and off that like our friendship, we'd stop being friends for like a month or two and then pick up right where we left off or whatever. So basically she stopped talking to him, or not stopped talking to him, but like she stopped flirting with him and all that. And and he was like so mad that she was friends with me. Oops. Oops. Sorry about it. My eyebrows look so bad. Like, I don't know what's up. So she stopped talking to me or whatever. Me and her started getting closer. We started, I can't remember if we started hanging out again. Like, we'd hang out like here and there, but it wasn't anything major. But like me and her like would FaceTime every single night, and we got close again. So then like me and her got into an argument. I don't remember what the I don't remember what the argument was about. I just remember we got into this argument, and like in class the next day, like we got into like Kahoot partners. It was Kahoot Live or Quizlet Live, and like basically like it would arrange like the whole class would get into Quizlet Live, and like it would arrange your groups for you, and like tell me why I got into a group with all these weirdos or whatever, and March and Cunt and the mutual friend and somebody else got into a group together, and like they were making fun of me, and I heard it with my own 2 ears. They were laughing at me, and like I didn't say anything, but then I heard like me and Cunt got into the same group for one, and he slammed his computer shut, and like I heard them all laughing over there. I was like, oh hell no, so I'm never gonna be friends with this bitch. No, we hadn't even gotten into an argument. We were cool then, but then she wants to like laugh at that, so that's why we stopped being friends. And so I went, that was a Friday, like the day that like they were laughing at me or whatever, and so I went in the bus running zone, and I started like cussing and screaming at Cunt. I was like, blah, blah, blah. I had a little audience around me. Bailey Cherry, she was standing next to me, and like I was like, blah, 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 just going off on him, and like he like turns, like he walks off, and like because he was standing by himself, because like I said, nobody fucking likes him, and so I mean nobody fucking likes me either, but I'm relevant. Who? Ew, my work just called me asking if I could work, as if like I never have days off. But bitch. So anyways, he turns around and he was like, don't go cut yourself again, because like over summer, like I had cut myself because I was so depressed from like the breakup, or not even the breakup, the ending of it, because me and him never dated, but like I was still fucking in love with this nigga. I'm too bronze, but we ain't finna talk about it. Then it was a football game that night, and it was cowboy themed or whatever, and like the whole time I was like, she's next, like I'm finna pop off on her too, because she was supposed to be my friend, but she wants to sit there and fucking laugh at me. So I was like, oh hell motherfucking no. And you know me, like of course I'm not finna just take shit. Like obviously I have to have everybody know my fucking business and scream at everybody. So I went to the football game, and like everyone I was with hated her. Like so many people hate that bitch. Well, I don't know if they still hate her, but like, well, yeah, I know the same people that hated her then, hate her now. Like me and her were cool. Like I'm making this story time because I made that story time about her friends, the racist one. So I think that kind of like made us not cool. So like I'm just making this or whatever. So I went to the football game, and like my intentions were to find her and just like I was gonna fight her, but like as time went on, they're like, don't fight her at the football game, like you'll never be able to come back to a football game. And like then football games were my fucking shit. Like I loved football games. So at the end of the football game, like she was standing alone. I was like, this is my fucking time, like target acquired. So I ran up those bleachers so fucking fast. I was like, march. And like she ignores me and keeps walking, and I like run over to her, and like all my friends are running behind me. Or not all of them, but like two of my friends that didn't like her running behind me. I was like, why were you and Cut talking shit about me? Like my voice changed so much. She was like, when? I was like, today, yesterday, this week, blah blah blah. And like I was just screaming at her. I'll insert that video now.
I did not know. No, let it go on. Whenever I went to the bathroom, he didn't end up relax. Was that funny? 2 days ago, that's when. About you said you can walk all the way off. I don't know why you're laughing. That's why you're fucking face off. Yeah, I'm sure.
Damn! Damn! Swing! Swing!
So basically after that, I had to go to ISS for that fucking shit, bruh. Because I got called to the office, and they're like, the deputy apartment or sheriff department or whatever, it was like, saw this. Like, that's how I saw this. Like, this. And so basically, I got moved from sitting next to Cunt and her all the way to the back. And, like, I didn't mind. Like, And I had ISS that one day, and so did the guy that recorded the video. Like, I just find it funny how I had ISS for that, but the girls who called me racial slurs didn't get in any trouble. Stupid. Like, I didn't touch her, but whatever. So, then and there, like, it was just hell. Like, I hated being there. Like, they got back to hugging every day. I really feel like it was in their intentions to, like, make me jealous, but whatever. And so I was, like, really depressed for a minute, but I started getting over it, and that's really the story. Like, I have so many stories of, like, that ex, and, like, all my depression, how I got over him. Like, it's fuck him till I die. So that's really the story. I thought it was gonna be a lot longer than this, but I'm fast and quick at telling stories, huh? So anyways, I hope y'all enjoyed this story time. I'm going to be doing a lot more. Like, this isn't really that juicy of a story time. I just wanted to do it because I have a video of me screaming at the bitch. But I hope y'all enjoyed this.